The Mona Lisa life be a singular success.
Hey singers, this is LK Fletcher with the Mona Lisa Life, and I want you to be a singular success. Well, today it is Monday, finally Monday fun day, or in our case, it's Monday Methods. And we're talking about method acting, or just this whole process of communicating for singers. This is so important for each one of you because we have more than notes to sing. We have stories to tell. And so it's very important that we're intentional and that we go through the process with the same diligence all performers do. So Monday Method today, we're going to be talking in just brief detail about part of my method that I use for Lose Yourself on Stage. And Lose Yourself on Stage is this whole idea of leaving ourselves off the stage and stepping into the character. We talked a little bit about that with Bookends last week. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about the Titanic and Subtext. And this is probably, if you've ever had an acting class or you've been through this journey, it's one of the biggest things we talk about. So the Titanic and Subtext. So what sunk the Titanic? Was it this iceberg that they saw rising out of the sea that they didn't have time to navigate around? Well, in part, but the bigger part of that was the size of the iceberg, because the ship was up here and it saw this big obstacle, but it wasn't what was on top of the water that sunk the ship. It was everything that was underneath, because the size and diameter of that iceberg was so much bigger on the bottom than what we saw on the top. And that sub-sea level iceberg is what sunk the Titanic. Sub is the key word. What's underneath what we're saying? So when we take time to dissect a song, particularly a song that is not really super framed. For example, it's a pop song. It stands alone. Maybe it's I love you, I love you, I love you, or you broke my heart, you broke my heart, you broke my heart. We don't have a complete backstory. We might have one or two key emotions, and we have a certain emotional build in a song that we're responsible to tell the story for. But when we look into subtext, what is the meaning behind the words? There is a lot more nuance that we can bring to our storytelling. We really have to find the poetry in every bit of our text. So let's just do a quick subtext example here. Let's say we're saying, and this is not in the context of a song. We're talking about my hoodie here. Okay, so I got my Venice Beach hoodie, and you, my listener, say, I like it. And then I give the same lines, I like it, to another person who maybe hates hoodies. I like it. And then perhaps I give it to somebody who is clueless to what the discussion is even about, and they totally pass it off as, I like it. All of a sudden, we've taken the same text and we've given it multiple subtexts. And because text is the least important part of how we communicate, you know, when you take a public speaking course or you talk to a criminologist or somebody who studies behavior and body language, text is only about 10% of it, folks, give or take. The other 90% is body language, emotion, energy, subtext. It's all these other things. So we spend a lot of time learning text, but we really have to learn as much time, if not more, on how to communicate. So my challenge to you is to go through whatever you're singing this week, whatever's on the top of your list. And for every phrase, every time you take a breath, I want you to write one word over that phrase and say, what is my subtext? It's okay if the subtext doesn't change from line to line, but you need to be intentional, not accidental, about those choices. Okay? Be intentional, not accidental. Each line, find the value, the true communication. What is that word that you want to project? Longing, hope, despair. Get on the internet, get into a reference book and look for synonyms. Find words that are similar and say, how am I going to communicate these very similar but different emotions? Because every song's got a journey, and if it's the same subtext, the same emotion, we don't have much of a journey. So That's my message for you today. It's a tired Monday for me, but it's going to be the beginning of a great week. I hope you enjoy your journey into your Monday method. I want you to be a singular success.